Hey everybody, it's Kirk and I. We are at Daffin Park. Lovely, beautiful Daffin Park. It's a little bit noisy right now as the ambulance is going by. Give you a view of Daffin Park. And this is our vigil. We didn't think we'd leave Savannah without doing our vigil, right? So we're here, and we are the only ones here, and that is okay, because we're here, and you may be here with us too. So we are just going to have a moment of silence, and I will also add thoughts, and maybe you two can add thoughts about survival and those who may have departed, and we will ask for the spirit of restoration and also healing to be bestowed upon all of those who are struggling with the various types of traumatic violation. So again, these are vigil candles. We have more, but we need to get a long stick to light them. So I'll begin with thinking about domestic violence and those in Savannah, Georgia, because we're here in Savannah, Georgia, and before we leave, we want to think about those who are here who will be struggling and are struggling at this very moment with domestic violence, and who may be fearful of their lives or may be fearful tonight about what may come before they sleep, if they sleep. So we want to believe in restoration and the strength to distance themselves from the trauma, and the strength and the power that it takes to not inflict harm upon another person, that those who may be considering acting out inappropriately, that they reconsider tonight and do something different. And for those who can escape and those who can leave, that they find a way to find another way, because the way that they are in might be what they're used to. Sometimes we get too used to abuse. So this is a good time and a good hour. Any time, any hour is a good time to find another way. So we think about those struggling with sexual assault, those who recently were assaulted moments and minutes ago, as well as those who were assaulted years and years and years ago, and maybe their voice has been shackled. Maybe they've kept the dirty little secret all their lives. Maybe they've protected loved ones and thought that they would carry the burden alone. We pray for them. We believe in better hopes for them and better tomorrows for them. We understand the struggle and the loneliness and the alienation and the anxiety and the triggers and the nightmares, the taunting daymares, the PTSD, the CPTSD. We want you to know tonight that if you are one of those people, there's help. You can help yourself to that help anytime. Any time is a good time. Now is a good time. If you are afraid of what happened to you happening again, this is even more reason why help is just a phone call away. This is a reason why help is just a text message away, or going online and seeking peer support, asking for guidance as to good references for therapy, for group sessions, for anxiety support, whatever you need, now is a good time. We also want to remember those who are enduring mental abuse here in Savannah. Mental abuse is an ultimate damage because the mind is soft and it can be conditioned. It can be conditioned towards destruction and devastation, and it can be conditioned towards construction and restoration. If you are someone who is struggling with mental abuse, who has endured mental abuse, long-term mental abuse or short-term, maybe it's a new relationship, and the relationship could be a partner, could be a friend, could be a relative. If you're enduring mental abuse, you don't have to. Choose something better for yourself because you're worth something better. So long as you are alive and you are breathing, you have purpose, and that purpose needs to be protected. And it starts with protecting your mind. And the wealth of your mind is endless if you apply it constructively and protect it wisely. So for those who are struggling with mental abuse, we remember you. For those who are struggling with elder abuse, you may have a family member who is being abused. You may have a family member who was being abused and departed. You may be the person who is struggling with elder abuse. No one has the right to usurp your will at the beginning or at the end of your journey. And so we remember you. It is okay to seek help. It is okay to protect yourself and to defend yourself, even if it means telling someone that you're being harmed, that your life is at risk. You matter. You are worth being cared for appropriately, for someone to love you and embrace you through the end of your time. We remember you. For those here in Savannah who tonight will struggle with child abuse, neglect, maltreatment, we remember you. The little innocent ones whose voices and whose lights are so new, so fresh, so malleable. We remember you in your hardship this night. We remember you, and we pray for your mind and the safety and protection of your mind as those pains continue to fester inside of you, as you struggle in survival mode when you go to school, as you struggle in survival mode when you're trying to make friends, as you struggle in survival mode when it's time for you to go to bed or to take a nap and your nightmares are coming. We remember you. Little ones of Savannah, we remember you. And we pray for the strength of the adults of Savannah, this beautiful place to rise up and protect their tomorrows, the innocence, the seeds of their tomorrow, that they nurture these roots, not torture these roots. We remember you, the innocent. For those who are going to endure physical abuse tonight, whether that be in the streets, in the privacy of a home, through random violence, in a store, if you're a clerk, if you're working behind a counter somewhere and you're in a high-risk environment, if you're in your home, we remember you. Those who are exposed to the risk of physical abuse. If your life feels threatened, never ever keep a dangerous secret. It is okay to seek help. For those of you who are going to experience emotional abuse tonight, the corruption of your soul, where someone is going to plant seeds of devastation into your heart, into your mind. If you know that this is an experience you're having in your life, we encourage you to seek something different. And we know that the challenges are hard, especially if it relates to family. If family is the one who is doing this to you, but you can be that pillar of change, starting with yourself, demanding better for yourself and of yourself in relationship to how you permit others to treat you emotionally. You do not have to accept what others dump on you. You can choose differently. I pray for the strength that you need to do that. Emotional abuse spills over into the workforce. It spills over into the bottom line of your own economic welfare. It spills over into our social welfare. Savannah, we can do better by supporting each other emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Choosing differently with our words and how we drive, and stirring up one another's feelings, and remembering that there are some who cannot come into contact with their feelings, and who knows what their story is today of why they are distressed. So we pray for Savannah tonight. Those who are enduring spiritual or ritual abuse, we believe in something greater for you. There is not one voice that is true, but there is a voice inside of you, that if you listen deeply in the heart and the core of your soul, and the core of your being, you will know that maybe something isn't quite right with what you're hearing, or with what you're listening to, or with what you're absorbing and consuming, connected to someone who might be spiritually or ritually abusing you. There is a great big world out there, a great big world. And maybe hearing, seeing, and experiencing something different might enable you to understand that having to be chained to someone else's thoughts and chained to someone else's beliefs and dogma, which could be endangering your welfare or the welfare of your children or your family, that this is not healthy. This type of thing cannot be wholesome, cannot be valuable to you in the long run. Consider the future of your family and the future of your own journey and your own destiny. Whatever faith you may be a part of, make sure that it is not endorsing abuse and the misuse of your gifts and your talents and your God-given or your universe or spiritually given blessings. When it crosses the line into abuse, you should release it back into the universe. It doesn't belong to you. You do not need to own that. You do not need to claim that in your life. If that is you tonight, we want you to know that we are remembering you and we are believing in better and greater for you. For those who have experienced attempted murder during traumatic violation, we remember you. We want you to believe that your future is not dependent on the desires and the wills and the misgivings of other people who were trying to take you out of this place. That you are still here, and you have purpose, and you have reason, and you have a journey that is significant to so many people. You just haven't seen it yet, but it's coming. You can't stop it. It's coming one way or another, and we hope for you that you do not permit that attempt against your life and against your value and against your worth to hinder your ability to press on and to move forward and grow and prosper in your tomorrows. We want you to know that we remember you. So tonight, we close our Savannah Vigil with the hope of a brighter future and a greater understanding of the significance of traumatic violation and how important and imperative it is that we grow together and that we unify together in these causes. I pray for Savannah and all that are here, all these children. Look at these babies in the park. They're far enough away you can't identify them. Look at them playing. That's life. Don't steal their joy through trauma. Don't allow anyone, don't walk by and hear the screams and cries and blood-curdling tears of a child and not say, what happened to you? What's wrong? Are you okay? Don't ask questions. Don't stop yourself from asking questions. You can get answers, and answers are meaningful. Answers are part of the solution, right? Be a part of that solution together. Now we move on to our next place, Garden City, and then to Pooler before the sun sets. And we will vigil once again. Thank you, all of you who have attended the Savannah Vigil virally, and we will continue city after city. Our list is up there, one city after the other. We will continue to vigil in each place, praying and believing and hoping for each traumatic violation type, for greatness. Love to you all. We will talk to you soon. Hey, babe, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would.
Babe's going to add something.
So, some people might wonder why I'm out here. Why am I taking up this mantle? Why am I trying to be part of this? And I'll tell you why. Besides, obviously, being out here to support my wife. Through conversations with her about people, children, abuse, I think the statistics are 1 out of 4 girls and 1 out of 6 boys. It occurred to me that I've known abused people my entire life. But at the time, things get compartmentalized. When I was a child, I had a friend that was being physically abused at home. As a young teenager, 2 of my college girlfriends had experienced sexual abuse by their family members. As I was a young adult, 2 of my closest male friends had experienced sexual abuse by their family members. And as an adult, 5 people that I know while I lived in Delaware. So that's only the people that were comfortable enough to talk to me about it. How many others were there? And the thing is, all of them talked about how what happened then impacts them today. It impacts their relationships, romantically, work relationships, social relationships, any kind of relationships. It impacts how they act toward things, how they react to things, just in life. There's so many people that have had traumatic violation experiences. Traumatic violation, you've probably listened to earlier videos and she explained what that was. Anytime your will is usurped and you are violated on any level, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, socially, and your will is usurped, and somebody imposes their will upon you such that you experience a loss of self, that stays with you and it impacts you. And the reason I'm out here, the reason I want to try to do something about that is because I'm trying to be part of a flame. Somebody we know saw us constructing this wagon, and he says, that's a lot to look at. And you know what? It is, because its purpose is to be attention grabbing. Its purpose is to be memorable. If it just looked like any other thing you would see every day, you might remember it, maybe you won't. If it just looked like any other pretty thing you see every day, maybe you would remember it, maybe you wouldn't. But people see it, and it's full of these colors and words and images and symbols, and they read it and they remember it. That's what we want. We want people to remember it. And then think about it. Think about what it stands for. Maybe think about some of the slogans they read on the side of it. And then from there, maybe start a conversation. There are so many things, I'm not going to name them now, but there's at least 3 things in our society right now that used to be stigmatized, that are not stigmatized now, and that people are encouraged to get help for them. You can see it if you watch TV, anytime after 10 p.m., every other commercial is about treatment for a certain type of addiction, mainly opioid addiction. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was stigmatized. People who had opioid addiction wouldn't talk about it. People who were on heroin wouldn't talk about it, but I don't want to get on that soapbox. But now, a different socioeconomic group of people have heroin addiction, so now it's okay to seek treatment. The people that I knew when I was younger that had been abused all had one common theme in their stories to me. I didn't say anything and I didn't get help because I didn't want to get so-and-so in trouble, because I didn't want to upset the family, because I didn't want so-and-so to be mad at me, because I didn't think anybody would believe me. All these fall under the label of stigma. Rachel had a saying, prepare the soil to receive the seed. By being out here, all I'm hoping to do is get somebody to look and think, and then maybe take it a step further to what they call cause consciousness, and talk about it. Because the more people that talk about a stigma, the less power the stigma has, until eventually the stigma becomes a whisper, then it becomes a wisp of smoke, and it goes away. People who are suffering from these conditions won't get help because of the stigma attached to them. They won't seek help. Remove the stigma, and the people can seek help.
And the fact of the matter is, we're 1/3 of the population. We're 1/3 of the population, and we didn't used to be. So the statistics, and with all these nonprofit organizations and all these resources, the statistics aren't going down. The statistics remain the same, and in some cases have gone up. And viral and social media and all of these extra platforms, we are aware. We're aware. We just need to grow beyond awareness into cause consciousness and be equipped and ready with responses. So we're just going to keep on vigiling from one place to the next, hoping that we can inspire cause consciousness and of course raise funds for the Memorial Garden, but
hoping to start a conversation.
Isn't that what it's all about? To be able to go and see something that is a permanent figure, a permanent symbol of transformation, that the real transformation can happen. So we'll talk to you all again soon in, what's it say up there? Garden City.
Garden City, yes.
Love to you guys. We'll blow out our candles now.